In this episode, we're talking about how to write a script for a YouTube video. What's the best way, or what's the easiest way? There are a variety of different ways that people will prepare, and we're going to compare those. I want you to be the most effective. I want your videos to be interesting and engaging. In addition, I'm going to talk about how to start your video so that you can keep people engaged through the end. We're also going to be talking about what you say at the end of the video. So by the end of this episode, you'll know how to prepare for your video. Most people assume that if you're going to film professional videos or get professional help, that I'm definitely going to be using a teleprompter. Well, I recommend you do not use a teleprompter, and I recommend that you do not script your videos. Now, if you're doing a promo video, like an advertisement, those videos definitely need to be scripted and practiced and refined and whittled down and tightened up so that it's really compelling. You do that because you're taking people on an emotional journey. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about YouTube episodes that will build a relationship. Okay, a lot of the videos that I teach on my channel teach you how to leverage YouTube for lead generation. And we're doing this in multiple steps. When people have never heard of you before, they're in a what's in it for me mindset. They don't want to be pitched to or promoted to. They're not looking for a brand or a business. They're not looking for a product or a service. They're just looking for an answer. It's like, I have a question, I want an answer. The best approach is not to put an ad in front of them where they're going to immediately put up their defenses. The best approach is to not do any of that, but just to answer their question and give them value. So as a part of that, imagine if you were on a FaceTime call or a one-on-one Zoom conversation with someone and they asked you a question. Imagine how awkward that would be if you were scripted or if you were using a teleprompter to respond to them. That would be the most unusual Zoom conversation ever, right? But if they ask you a question, you're just going to naturally talk. And if you need to pause and look up to find the right word, I mean, that's what we do when we naturally talk. So there's a real strength to being conversational and using your normal grammar. You don't need to fix your grammar. You don't need to go into presentation mode, okay? And if you're still thinking about a teleprompter and how amazing newscasters look when they read the teleprompter and they're able to quickly go through all the news, they don't know this stuff. They're not experts at it. They're just reading the headlines, and what they are an expert at is reading from a teleprompter but not having it look like they're reading. I mean, they are really good. And that actually would make the headlines on Facebook. They'll take that newscaster mess up and they'll share it on Facebook. So if you see those newscasters and you think, they look so professional, I wish I could be like that on camera. Well, just know that they're not personally building a relationship. They're doing a professional job of delivering the news or whatever, but they are very, very scripted, and they are definitely really good and really well practiced at a teleprompter. Now for you, you might think, I just need a script or a teleprompter, so yeah, I want to use it as a crutch. But I'm going to tell you, if you have expertise and you're answering questions in these videos, it's going to be liberating for you to not have to use a script or a teleprompter. So what do I recommend? Well, I recommend talking points, and I recommend having those talking points either on a computer in front of you like I've got here, you can't see it though, or printed on paper and just having that in front of you, okay? Now you also don't want to memorize your presentation. We're not talking about a keynote speech where you're on stage for 30 minutes or an hour. You've got to have a memorized presentation. We're talking about YouTube, and on YouTube you record the video and then it's edited, okay? So anytime you pause or anytime you restart a sentence, it's totally fine because it gets edited out and we just see the finished product. So what that does is it takes all the weight off your shoulders. It takes the pressure off. So when you know what your video is going to be about, if you follow the leaf strategy that I teach on this channel, you're going to have a question, and that question becomes the title of your video. So when you're thinking about, all right, what am I going to talk about in this video? You know the question, and you go back through your experience, your expertise, and you think, well, there's three things that I'm going to recommend here. So on your notes, you write down those three things so that when you're filming the video, you remember, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about those three things. And you might think, oh, I'm going to share that story as well. So maybe it's three things plus a story. So now later when you're filming, you hit record on the camera, you look at your notes, and you think about point number one. You're like, oh yeah, that's what I was going to share first. So you put your notes down, you look at the camera, and you deliver point number one. You don't need to remember what point number two is. In fact, I want you to intentionally pause when you're done with point number one. That means that your mind isn't trying to remember and skip ahead and forget some things. You can just focus on delivering point number one. So again, you look at the camera, you talk. When you're done, you pause, you look down at your notes. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that one second. Put your notes back down, and then you spend 30 seconds or 2 minutes, whatever it is, to deliver point number two. Then you pause, and continue. Now, filming your content that way, not only does it take the pressure off, but it actually makes your content better because your video is delivered in bite-sized pieces. It's like you're this point first, then this point, then this point. It makes it more structured, and it also makes it so you're not going to skip over things and skip to point two too soon and have to go back when you remember. The more pressure you can take off of your shoulders, the more natural you're going to be, the more you're going to be able to really build that relationship through the video. A huge advantage of outlines versus scripting is time. If I'm going to outline a video, sometimes it might take me 2 minutes to think about the points that I want to share. Sometimes it might take me 10 minutes, right? If I'm exploring a new topic and I'm deciding how I want to present it. But 10 minutes compared to a script, if I'm scripting word for word a 10 or 12 minute episode, it's going to take me a couple of hours because I'm a perfectionist. If I'm going to script how I'm going to say it, I got to think about each word and think about the flow of it and oh, did I include this? Where should I put that? Because in a filming day, we typically film 20 episodes in a day if we're going from 9 to 5, and it's going to take me a couple of hours to prepare each episode, and that's like a week worth of work there. But instead, I can take a few hours and I can outline all 20 episodes. So the first thing that I do is I outline my talking points. So the first thing that you do in outlining your videos is to outline your talking points. We're going to talk about hooks. We're going to talk about your call to action, but I also want to talk about some things about the content. After you've outlined your talking points, you can think about, how do I want to present this? Is it simply going to be talking head, or maybe you want to use a flip chart? It can be really engaging and helpful if you're teaching, if you want to draw on a flip chart. So I recommend throwing in flip charts in some of your videos. Or just like that clip of me drawing on a flip chart, that's called B-roll. You can find B-roll of anything. So if I'm talking about somebody practicing their basketball, you could show a video of somebody practicing basketball. Now, what about slides, like a PowerPoint or a slide deck or something like that? Typically, I'm going to say no, except I use them all the time, but I'm not typing out a lot of boring notes, and I'm not typing out the words I'm going to say. I think those presentations are the worst when the person just looks at the slide, points at it with the clicker, and they just read the slides for me. like what? So I use slide decks all the time, but I've taken screenshots of things. So if I'm talking about YouTube analytics, I'll have taken a screenshot of the analytics and put that into the slide deck. Or if I'm talking about thumbnails, I'll show that thumbnail, right? So they can be great visually, and you want to have a good balance. Like, don't just show that screen the whole time. Switch back and forth between you and the slide or something, and you can use frame in a frame so that you can be on the screen at the same time. All those things are done in editing, so while you're filming on camera, just look at the camera, pause when you're ready to look at the next bullet point. If you're recording something on your laptop screen, you can look down, but as soon as you're done pointing at what you want to, look right back at the camera. Okay, so you've got your outline. What do you say at the beginning? Well, what I like to do is look through the talking points. What am I going to talk about in this video? And what can I say to introduce what's going to happen in this video? How can I create curiosity about what's going to come next? So I'm actually just going to show you my laptop here, and I'll zoom way in so you can see these are my curiosity hooks. So you see the title, How to Write a Script for a YouTube Video, and then you see my hooks, compare different ways, which are most effective, how to make your video more interesting. So those are way more scripted than even my talking points for the content of this video. That's the most scripting that I ever do, is for the hooks. And so it's like right at the beginning of the video. The reason that I put a lot of attention, and that you should too, because the way that you set up the video, or the way that you prepare people for what's coming, or sell them on the value of why they should watch this video, the better job you do in the beginning, the more people will watch all the way to the end. YouTube looks at that stat as retention rate, or your average view duration. So if you have a 10-minute video and your average view duration is 5 minutes, that means that that's the average retention rate. Some people watch all the way to the end, some people leave a lot earlier, and your average is somewhere in the middle. So the higher that average retention rate, the better. And the better you get at setting curiosity hooks, the higher your average view duration will be. Now, if you're like me, you've watched a lot of content on YouTube, and when you get to the end of the video, what do we always hear? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch some more of my stuff. We'll see you in the next episode. Don't say any of those things. Ahead of time, I want you to plan one thing. So if that one thing is to get people to subscribe, then that's it. Let them know why they should subscribe. And don't just say it casually, but tell them, like, if you really enjoyed the value of this video, I've created this channel to help you really succeed at blank. So be sure, go ahead and click subscribe. And when you do, this is what you'll expect to find, right? I don't do the subscribe call to action very often. If I do, I might say something like that, but a lot earlier in the video. There's two main calls to action that I use at the end of my videos. And for the 60 plus YouTube channels that I produce for my clients, there's two main calls to action. So one of them is to go watch another video. But we're not vague about it. We're very, very specific. Instead of saying, I hope you like this video, I've got some other suggestions over here that you could watch, so you can go watch those. Let them know, hey, now that you've learned A, B, and C, I've got another video. We're going to learn D, E, and F. So go watch that video next. But tell them the title of the video. So that's one option, is your call to action could be, go watch another video. Be sure to tell them why, like create some curiosity about that video so that they're likely to go watch it. The second thing that you can do is give them a free gift. Okay, this is going to help them go to your website and become a lead. To get that free gift, they're going to enter their contact information. So you might teach a principle and say, hey, if you'd like to learn the whole strategy, I've written a book. And if you'd like a free copy of that book, go to this link here. Now, one of the main things I teach on this channel is how to take your YouTube videos and get them ranked at the top of YouTube and also on Google. So you're going to get search traffic from Google and from YouTube. I call it my YouTube SEO secret strategy, or I actually call it the leaf strategy. So go watch this video next if you'd like to learn how to get your videos ranked at the top of YouTube, the YouTube SEO secret strategy. I'll see you there.